Claude.
Yes.
Fahmi? This is
Yes.
Naeem.
Yes, I'm a new student today.
Fahmi.
I have a test for citizenship in
No.
Ashgan. Your name Ashgan?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Fahmi, when is your test?
With you.
Next month at 11th.
May 11th. Okay.
Yeah, May 11th.
Have a good
Coming soon.
Have a good luck.
Thank you.
أشجان.
قديش إلك مقدمة فهمي؟
Sorry?
هي مقدمة من قبل كده وامتحانها 11 مايو يا عفيف.
قديش إلها مقدمة؟
مقدمة من امتى؟
من شهر 4 السنة اللي فاتت.
أوكي. بالتوفيق.
ده سنة تقريبا.
صلوا لي بقى صلوا لي.
بالتوفيق إن شاء الله بالتوفيق يا رب. عم بيقولوا سهل العالم عم. جمانة أخدتها مو هيك فيولا؟
مش عارفة صدقيني ومكسوفة اتصل بيها.
لا هي حاطة صورة تحت العلم بس ما عرفت إذا أخدتها.
مبروك حلوة قوي.
حطت صورة تحت العلم بس ما أنا كاتبة يعني شيء بس هيك بالستوري.
لا مدام خليني ابعت لها رسالة. أنا كنت مكسوفة بصراحة ابعت لها يعني.
لا
خايفة ما تكون توفقتش.
إن شاء الله.
في السكاجوال مكتوب انكم بتبتدوا من 7 ل 8:30.
بس اليوم لأنه رمضان عملوها الساعة 8.
اوكي نايس.
Viola, does Fahmi have all of the pages? Yes.
Sorry?
I wanted to know if you had all of the documents, all of the papers from our classes.
Yeah, I would send it. She just sent it message now.
I have a book.
Okay, you have that book. That's good. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the last class, and then we will start up again afterwards in May, after Ramadan is finished. But all of the lessons are on videotape, so that you can watch those, Fahmi, if you want to. Viola can send you the links for those, and so you can hear the classes.
Sure. Appreciate it.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, thank you.
How long have you been in the country?
In July, I will be here 6 years.
6 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just qualified then. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
And Walid, how are you tonight?
Good.
Good. And have you heard from many? Do you know, are we going to have a smaller group tonight because of Ramadan? Viola?
I'm sending a message now again to.
Okay.
One message, yeah.
How many students in this class?
We usually have somewhere in the 20 to 22, 23, somewhere in that area. during spring break with kids in school, it was a little bit different. And then during Ramadan, it's very difficult for many of them to, when they break their fast, to have time because the evenings are busy in their homes.
Yeah. I taken this test before in في مارس. خدت الامتحان امتى؟ February 11th.
Oh,
But
okay.
I didn't pass.
And what was the part that gave you difficulty?
When I start to test.
Uh-huh. Was it the civics or the history or?
No, I like belonged everything.
Oh, everything just blanked. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we all have taken tests and know what that's like. You aren't alone.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't know anything. Everything is gone.
Yes, it can be very nerve-wracking. It can be when you actually have to sit down and start answering the questions. It can be scary. They don't try to make you fearful, but it can be that way just because there's a lot of pressure. And there's a lot of information.
Yes.
Yes. Well, since you're new to these classes, one of the things we've been doing each lesson is going through all of the 100 questions so that everyone can get familiar with the answers and how to pronounce the answers. And tonight is the last in our series of lessons. And we're going to deal with the last couple of questions and then any questions that people have on the application, as well as the written and the writing test. So we're going to do all of that tonight.
Sure. Oh, so this is today last lesson in this semester?
Yes, it is, but we have the videos from all of the other classes that you can see.
I will send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I will send it to you.
And you can look at those at your own pace over the month of April before you test in May.
I will. Thank you so much.
Oh, yes, our pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Farzana, do you have an appointment yet for a test?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Okay, because it's getting late, we'll go ahead and begin. Okay, Viola?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Again, tonight, just so you all are aware, this is the last class we will have. And this recording I will make available this week so that Viola can send it out to you. And then you will have, I think it's 7 or 8 of them. You'll have all of them. And you watch them as you need to if you have your interview coming up, or just study with them as you choose. Tonight is going to be a little bit different. Instead of going through many questions, we only have 4 more questions to go through, or 5 more questions to go through. And then we'll talk about the application for anybody who may be having difficulty with the application. And then we'll talk about the vocabulary words that you need to know for the reading and for the writing. And we'll go through to make sure that you understand the pronunciation, because your ability to say the words in English is going to be very important when you take your test. And then Viola, who's taken it fairly recently, can tell you what her reading and writing test was like, so that you aren't any more fearful than is necessary, because we don't want you to be frightened of speaking or frightened of writing or reading. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to share the screen and we'll look at the last 4 questions. Okay. So question number 96, and tonight deals with symbols and it deals with the holidays that we celebrate. And I'll explain each of them so that you are understanding why we have these symbols in America. First question, 96, is why does the flag have 13 stripes? And it's a very simple answer. And if you'll remember the history, it's because there were 13 colonies when the United States began. They became states, but they were colonies in the beginning. And those 13 are represented by the red and the white stripes. And then the next question, question number 97, is why does the flag have 50 stars? There are 50 stars because there are 50 states. And 2 of those states were added even during my lifetime. When I was a child, there were only 48 states. And then in 1959, they added 2 more states, Alaska and Hawaii, which made 50. We have other territories that are not states, and they do not have stars in our flag. If they ever become states, then there will be more stars in our flag. And it says, and the answer you need to give is because there is 1 star for each state, or because there are 50 states, or because each star represents a state. All of those are acceptable answers. And the same thing with the question before. You can give either answer, because stripes represent the original colonies, or because there were 13 original colonies. They're not going to be very picky. They're not going to be grading you harshly for answering one way or the other. It's just a matter of making sure you understand the question and the answer. Okay, so question number 98. What is the name of the national anthem? And it's called the Star Spangled Banner. And just so you know, I know that those words don't translate in all of your different languages. A banner is another word for a flag in English. A lot of times you'll see banners up with statements on them on the side of buildings for events and things. A banner is another name for a flag. And the reason it's called Star Spangled is because the stars that are in it, and spangled is another word for sparkly, for like fireworks and sparkling. And so the image is the stars are bright in the sky. And so it's the Star Spangled Banner is the name of our national anthem. And that's because the flag is what the national anthem's words sing about. Where the national anthem came from was from, if you remember the history, the War of 1812. There was a battle in Baltimore Harbor over a fort called Fort McHenry. And after all of the battle and fighting was going on, everyone thought that the United States was going to be taken over by morning. But when morning came, the flag was still waving. The US had been victorious. And because the flag was still waving, the person who wrote the national anthem wrote the words to it right after that battle. And it's a poetic way of saying the flag, but it's just another way of saying it. Does that make sense? I don't know, Viola, if you want to translate any of that, because I remember last time or the other times, a Star Spangled Banner was hard to translate.
ممكن can I make mute because there is some baby.
Yeah, somebody is having a baby in the background. I don't know who that is.
I have a question.
Okay, Farzana, go ahead.
Is there any question about national anthem in this?
Yeah, well, the only question is, what is the name of the national anthem? That's the only question. You don't have to sing it unless you want to. You want to sing it. No, you don't have to sing it. You don't have to know the words to it, although you will want to, because at many events in the US, we sing the national anthem.
Yes.
But no, the test does not have the words to it. You just need to know the name, Star Spangled Banner.
الثلاث أسئلة اللي هو قالهم دلوقتي 96 بيقول إن ليه في العالم فيه 13 خط اللي هو الستريب، لأنهم كانوا في الهيستوري احنا درسنا إن 13 اوريجينال كولونيز. الحاجة الثانية 50 نجمة، لأن 50 ولاية كل نجمة بتمثل ولاية. السؤال الثالث اللي هو النشيد الوطني بتاع البلد، زي مثلا عندنا في مصر بلادي بلادي لك حب وفؤادي كده. هم هنا النشيد الوطني الناشونال اسمه ستار سبانجلد بانر. ستار اللي هي النجوم طايره في الهواء، البانر اللي هو العلم نفسه يعني، فالنجوم ملقلقه في العلم.
هذا صوت الولد ما عم نسمع.
طب please I will make mute and okay mute all and please Pastor Mike unmute yourself.
Yes, very good. Okay, now the next section goes to the holidays, and I will explain all these holidays so that you understand them. And you have all been in the country long enough to have experienced each one of them, but you may not understand the reason that we have them as holidays. These are national holidays, which means it isn't a state or a city that celebrates it alone. It is the entire country that celebrates these holidays. And one of them is one we've already talked about before because of history. It is Independence Day. And question 99 is, when do we celebrate Independence Day? And that is the same time every year. It is July 4th. And I still hear a baby in the background. Basmina's.
It's not my baby.
No, Farzana, I know it's not yours. Okay, so
Again, Mr. Mike, please unmute yourself. Okay.
yes, Farzana, we know it's not your baby. and the reason that we celebrate Independence Day is because it was a day where the Declaration of Independence was signed and agreed on, and it was first read to the public. And we do fireworks and everything. It's a great day of celebration, and many families barbecue and have swim parties and everything. So that's 99. When do we celebrate Independence Day? And then question 100, you have to name 2 of the US holidays, 2 of the national holidays, and I'll explain when they are and what they are so that you're aware of them. We celebrate as a national holiday, which means businesses close. There are parades and there are other things that take place on New Year's Day. January 1st, New Year's Day, is a national holiday. And every year there's a Rose Parade in California. Other places have parades too. The biggest one is probably the Rose Parade in California. But it is also the day that the year starts off brand new for everyone. And there are traditions in the US of New Year's resolutions. Many people make New Year's resolutions, meaning they make promises to themselves of things they're going to do. And usually by January 7th, they're all broken, but they try. So New Year's Day is a national holiday. The next holiday is January 15th, and that is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. We celebrate his birthday because of what he did in the civil rights movement, because of what he did to help get equality for all people. So Martin Luther King Jr. Day is in January, it's January 15th. Then in February, on the 3rd Monday of the month, we have President's Day. So every February we have President's Day, and the date changes, but it is the 3rd Monday of the month every year. And on President's Day, or maybe it's the 2nd Monday, but anyway, it's in February. And it is to commemorate all presidents, but it was originally started to honor George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, whose birthdays are the 12th and the 22nd of February. So President's Day is in February. It's a national holiday. Memorial Day is when we remember all of those who have given their lives fighting in wars for the United States. And that is in May. That is May 31st. It's the last Monday in May. Memorial Day. And then Independence Day, we already mentioned, is July 4th. And then in September, the first Monday in September is a holiday called Labor Day.
Labor Day.
And Labor Day is when it was decided a long time ago that there ought to be one day where everybody off of work just stops work, puts it aside, spends time with family, spends time with friends. And that is to celebrate the fact that we live in a country where we are able to have jobs and we're able to work. That's Labor Day. The next one is Columbus Day. Columbus is credited or given credit for discovering North America when he sailed in 1492 from Spain. And Columbus Day is October 12th. And now it's celebrated on the Monday that is near that date in October. So Columbus Day is in October. And then in November, on November 11th, we celebrate everyone who has ever served in our military. So our Army, our Navy, our Marines, our Coast Guard, Air Force, all of the branches of our military, we celebrate everyone who has ever served, not just those who have died, but those who have served. So Veterans Day is a holiday where we commemorate and remember those who gave so much or risked so much to defend our freedoms. And that's Veterans Day. And then Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a big eating day. It is when we commemorate what happened when the first Europeans came to this country and they had a feast with the Native Americans. And it was when they got together and realized they needed to learn from each other instead of being adversaries with each other. And so Thanksgiving Day became a national holiday in the 1860s. President Lincoln is the one who put that one into place, and we celebrate that. I think it's a Thursday every November. I think it's the third Thursday every November. And then the last one.
It was the day that my baby was born.
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh, you'll always remember Thanksgiving.
Yeah, always.
But Thanksgiving will change.
I ate the turkey of Thanksgiving at that night.
So you delivered both a turkey and a baby.
Yes.
and yeah, there's a lot of eating, and everybody, after they eat, they have their full bellies and they sit back and moan about how much they ate, but they enjoy the eating. So it's a fun day. It's a feasting day. And different cultures that have come to the US fix different foods. The traditional food is a turkey, but there are many who come and they fix different, some fix duck or goose or some chicken. Some have a ham. I mean, there's all different foods, different cultures celebrate it with different foods, but the day is all celebrated the same. And then the last one, which I know is throughout the world, but not in every country, is Christmas. And Christmas in this country started because they celebrated the birth of Jesus Christ. And that was why it was begun. And gift giving is because of the gifts that were brought to him as a child. That's where the tradition started. Now it has a lot of meaning for those who are Christians because it's a day of remembering that God sent his son into the world. So Christmas is a religious, in fact, of all of the holidays that I've mentioned, it is the only one that has a religious overtone in its origins. It isn't necessarily seen as a religious holiday today because it's very commercialized, meaning everybody gets wrapped up in buying presents and gifts and receiving them. And that's not why it started, but it is a national holiday, December 25th, every year. Regardless of the day it falls, it is a holiday. So those are, I think it's 10 of them, 10 holidays, and you have to be able to remember 2 of them. Farzana will always remember Thanksgiving. She only has to remember one other one. But there are many to choose from, and your interviewer or the person who gives you the test will only ask you the question to name 2, but they may follow that question and say, do you know what we celebrate on that holiday? So the reason I explain it is so you'll understand a little bit more about the holiday, not just know the name of it. And that is question number 100. So we have over the last 8 weeks, counting tonight, covered 100 questions. And I'm willing to answer any questions any of you may have on any of those, or just those we've covered tonight, before we go on to the reading and writing and the application. So let's unmute everybody, Viola, if you can do that. If anyone has questions, go ahead and ask. I'll try and give an answer. Maybe there are no questions.
I have a question about the two-person join with the telephone number. Can you tell me your name?
Oh, yes. I'm going to take this off.
Yes.
Stop the share for a minute.
909, what's your name? And 714, what's your name?
714 Walid.
No, this is another number.
Yeah, Walid, we have you.
Yeah, it's another one because I take and 909 iPhone 909. Can you tell me your name, please?
Yeah, and all of you are welcome. We just want to identify you so we know your names.
Yeah.
So we have two of you who are showing up as phone numbers. Walid, your name shows up, so that's fine.
Okay, that's okay. I wrote the number and I will call them later.
Okay.
90.
And all of us know that Khalud has an iPhone because it says Khalud's iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on any of the 100 questions that we've gone over the last number of weeks? Is there anything that you just don't understand that I can help clarify?
في حد عنده أي أسئلة حتى في الحاجات اللي عدت قبل كده أقدر أوضحها أو أشرحها؟
Thank you. مفيش.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you say about the color of the flag, white, blue, and red?
The reason for the colors are not part of your question, but I can give you the answer.
Yes.
The white stands for us always being loyal to our country, and the red it stands for all of those who have lost their lives in wars, who have sacrificed their lives for our freedom. And the reason for the blue with the stars is because it's to resemble the sky, with stars in the sky, and so they made it blue. And so our country's colors are always spoken of as red, white, and blue.
Okay.
All right, if there's no other questions, then I'll share the screen again, and we'll go through vocabulary of the reading and writing test. And Viola, why don't you share with them, as I pull that up, share with them your experience in your reading and your writing test.
Yeah. The reading, one question from the all question, and the answering is the writing. So the reading, he asked me on the screen, iPad, on the screen, I read, who is George Washington? I'm just read it.
Mm-hmm.
And he clears the screen and asked me to write, Washington is the first president. That's it. This is all read and writing. And the vocabulary Mr. Mike will share now. If you really study it very well, no word will be out of this vocabulary.
Okay, very good. It sounds like they were fairly easy on you.
Very, very easy.
And I pray that it's that way for all of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one more question.
Please go ahead.
Like we go to DMV, we have 36 questions, and we can have 7 mistakes. So how about this test? How many questions they ask, and how many we can do the right or wrong?
Yeah.
Viola, do you want to answer that?
No, that's okay if you want to answer that.
What they do is they give you a choice, usually, of which question you want to read and which answer you're going to write. They give you a choice many times, but if they don't, they may do just like Viola and put up one sentence. And they're going to help you with it if you're having difficulty in most cases. So if you have difficulty with one word, they're not going to make you fail. They're just going to help you with that word. But you don't get to miss the reading and the writing and then get to miss it 3 times or 5 times and still pass the test. So they want you to, they want to walk you through it so that you are successful just one time. It's not like you get to read one sentence, you do that badly, and so now you get to read a second sentence and you do that badly, and then the third one you do well. That's not how it works usually.
Okay. Farzana, you asking about read and writing or the civic test?
The civic test, all together.
Yes, this is what. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. On the civics test, yes, you can miss. You have to do. Oh my goodness, I don't remember for sure.
We'll ask you about the 10 question and you have to answer 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 question. We have.
That's what it is. 6 out of 10. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
That's good.
So if you have anyone wrong, it's okay. They will ask you another one.
Right.
Till 10, but you have to answer 6 of 10.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you're very ambitious, you can tell them to ask you all 100 if you want to.
Yes.
They will look at you like you are crazy, but okay, let's go through the vocabulary questions or vocabulary words. And they have it divided by categories so that it's easier to understand where they fit. So the people are Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, right up here. And I'll highlight it as I go over each of them. In the civics area, the American flag, the Bill of Rights, capital, and capital means the city that is the top city for a state, or Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States. The word citizen, you understand, city, Congress, country, father of our country, which is George Washington. If you can remember George Washington's name, you'll get many questions right if they ask you a lot of, because he's in many of the questions. The next word is government, president, right, senators, state or states, which is singular or plural, White House. Those are all civics vocabulary words. Places, America, United States, and US. Now you need to know all of those mean the same thing. We call our country America, we call our country the United States, and we call our country by the abbreviation US. Holidays, I just went over these: President's Day, Memorial Day, Flag Day. Oh yeah, Flag Day we didn't have on there, but Flag Day is June 14th every year. Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Thanksgiving. And then these are words that ask a question. That's why they're listed this way. How, what, when, is when, where, who, and why. So those are all words that begin a question phrase. And then these are verbs. These are action words. Can, come, do or does, elects, have or has. Have is present and has is past tense. Is, are, was, and be. Lives and lived, or lives and lived. This is where the English gets confusing, because one word can be pronounced and used in context different ways. There are many lives that have been lost in war, or Viola lives in Anaheim. It's the same word, It's just a matter of context that makes it different. And then lived. And then meet. There's meet. And this is a coming together meeting. That's what that meet is. It's not the, it's not what you consume or eat. Name, pay, vote, and want. Okay, and these are other functional words. They fit into different parts of speech. There's a, for, and this is the preposition for. It's not the number for. The number for is spelled differently. Here's here, and that means in a place, not to use your ears. It means in a place, in, of, on, the, to, and this is going to the store. It's that kind of to. It is not the number to, and it isn't the word to that also means also. And the word we. Okay. And I'm doing these just so that you can hear them pronounced, and that way when you go over the video afterwards, you will not understand how to pronounce them. Colors, dollar bill. First, largest, many, most, north, one. Now that's one as in the number one, not as in winning a contest. That's one. People, second, and that means not the first place, but the second place, number two, and then south. Okay, so those are other content words that we have. Now, those are words that will be spoken words you need to know in English. So your instructor or your interviewer should be able to use any of these words and you comprehend or understand what they're saying. So that's why it's good for you to have these as part of your vocabulary. Now, in the writing portion, it's the same words with a few additions, because one of the questions they give you may include some of these other words. And on this list, I'm only going to go over the words that were not in the other list. For example, the people part, Adams is a name in this list that was not in the other list. American Indians is in this list, but was not in the other one. Civil War is in this list, but was not in the other one. The words freedom of speech are in this one, but was not in the other one. And then we have states and countries that were not in the other one. So we have Alaska, California, Canada, Delaware, Mexico, New York City, United States, Washington, and that's Washington as a state, not Washington as the capital. And then Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. And the D.C. stands for District of Columbia. So Washington, District of Columbia is the full name if you wonder what the D.C. is for. And the months are in this portion, but we're not in the other portion. So I'll read them just so you hear them. February, May, June, July, September, October, November. Now, I don't know why they don't like the month of January. I don't know why they don't like the month of December. They're not in the list, but these are the ones that are part of the test for you to learn for writing. And then holidays to learn to write are President's Day, Memorial Day, and Flag Day was in the other one, Independence Day was in the other, Labor Day was in the other, Columbus Day was in the other, and Thanksgiving. And some of the words that were not in the other list are pay, and vote was in the other one too. So and pay is on the other one. And some of the other functional words are during, which means going on at the same time. So something is happening during our citizenship class. It means it's happening at the same time. Yep. And then for here, that was in the other list. And all the rest of these were in the other list. Okay. And then the other words that are part of the content, the color blue, the word and the number 50, the words and the number 100, the color red, the word taxes, and the color white. So those are vocabulary for reading and for writing. Any questions or any of those words you need me to say over again?
No.
No, okay. Now here, this gives an explanation, and if you have these pages, it tells you some of what they may do. And for example, I'm just going to read this last paragraph here because it gives you an idea of some of the questions they may ask you and some of the instructions they may give you. It says an audio recorder can be your best friend. If you need to practice with the questions but don't want to bother a friend or family member, ask one of them to read all the questions on the N400 application into a tape recorder. Then play it back for yourself many times as you need. Another less obvious way in which the USCIS tests your English ability is by watching your response to the interviewer's instructions. For example, when the interviewer says, follow me, please remain standing, raise your right hand, take a seat, show me any documents that you may have brought with you, you should be able to understand those directions. So if I read one of those directions right now and you didn't know what they meant, then you have some more studying to do, because these should be simple English instructions you should be able to follow. And if you get a little bit flustered and you need them to repeat it, they will repeat it, but they will want to make sure that you understand. And some will do this and others will not. Some will be very easy on you and they'll wave and say, come this way, instead of telling you to follow me. It depends upon who is giving you the actual interview. Let's see what else. Okay, let me show you the kind of mistakes you can make and it will be okay. Look at these examples down here at the bottom. The first example is the officer may ask you to write the sky is blue. And you instead write letters this way, which when you pronounce it is the same. The sky is I-Z, blue, B-L-U. It's not spelled correctly, but you understood his word and you were able to make that in writing resemble what it's supposed to. And he may pass you on the writing portion because he understands you understand him, okay? Then on the next one, it says, these are an example. He says to write the sky is blue, but the person writes the sky is blue, B-L-E-W. And the word blue here means to blow out candles. It means to, when there's a birthday cake and you blow the candles out, which is a different word, a completely different word than the color. So someone can spell it wrong this way and they would pass you. Spell it wrong this way and it's a completely different word. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can, if you miss it by just spelling, but it's close because you leave an E off, not a big problem. But if you put a word that sounds the same but means something different, then they might fail you on that. Okay? Viola, I don't know if you want to translate any of that. Yes, you have a question, Claude?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Viola, you're muted.
في احيانا اخطاء بتبقى صغيره بس مش هتغير معنى الكلمه.
Yeah.
زي ايز بدل ما حطها اي اس حطها اي زي فهتمشي.
Yeah.
Okay.
كمان blue. BLEW, it's false.
Yes. And that's the kind of blue to mean blew out candles,
Yeah.
to blow air with your lips as opposed to the color. Also, the other thing it says here, and I know that English characters are quite different than Arabic characters. So they're going to be looking at whether or not you write it so that it can be read. So if you write it in a way that they can't read it, then you need to practice your writing. In fact, I would recommend that you take a sentence that is on the application that you've seen many times, or you may even take a sentence like the sky is blue and write it many times so that you know that the characters that you write are going to be legible or readable by them. Okay, and that is all that's in the paper except at the very beginning. For those of you who haven't filed yet, there are instructions on the testing and the age that you are and what they will require from you as far as the number of questions. If you've been in the country for a certain period of time and you are of a certain age where you are older, they will not ask you as many questions and you don't have to get as many correct. And so you can read this for your own sake and understand how the test goes. Let me just, so that you're aware of it, on this part right here, failing the speaking test. If you fail the speaking test when you don't understand enough English, then it'll be difficult for you to take the oath. And the officer still may give you other parts of the test, but may say that, no, you don't know English well enough to pass. And if that's the case, you can come back and take the test again. If you fail the reading test, you get a few sentences to read. If you fail the reading test, you again can come back and take it again. And these paragraphs here at the beginning of all the papers describes all of that. So, any questions on any of that? Viola, how are we doing? Everybody has to be very tired.
No, I'm good.
Good.
If you fail during conversation or speaking or understanding, they will send you another letter and you will have a test after 2 months, 60 days.
Yes. Yeah, so do not lose heart. Don't give up. Don't think, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? It will be fine. They understand that this is a new language and a new country, and even if you've been here for 6 years, it's not easy. I would not want to have to take a citizenship class in Farsi or Pashto or Arabic or Dari. I would not want to have to do that in another country, even if I've been there for 6 years and I could speak it, because the characters are so different. And besides, all of you go the wrong way when you write. We go the right way. No, you go right to left and we go left to right. So it is a completely different world in many regards, and they know that, so they will have patience with you.
هو بيتكلم على ان العربي بنكتبه من اليمين للشمال لكن الانجليش من الشمال لليمين فبركزوا في الحته دي.
Who is right?
We have to have a little fun when we're doing this, right?
I think from top to bottom, this is Chinese and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So many cultures do it differently, and actually Arabic would be easy compared for me when I look at it to Chinese or Japanese, because the characters are, I mean, it's all jumbled in one little box instead of spread out over a page. It's really weird.
They're drawing.
They draw. Yeah, they're drawings. They're not words.
Yeah, it's a drawing.
Yeah. Okay, so does anyone need help with the application? I do not want to bore you or take time unnecessarily. Does anyone have questions on filling out the application? I have a copy of it here that I can pull up and we can take a look at. I'd be more than happy to answer questions, but I also don't want to spend time if you don't need to. Is there any part of the application that you're having
كان في
difficulty?
اي سؤال معين في الابلكيشن اسالوه بدل ما هو يعني مش عايز ويست اوف تايم ان احنا نقرا كل الكلام دوت الحاجات المحدده اللي انتوا عايزين تسالوا فيها.
انا عندي سؤال فيولا بليز.
مهم.
بالنسبه للباسبور الايام يلي طلعنا فيها برا امريكا ورجعنا، هم ممكن يسالونا فيهم بدنا نحفظهم او شو؟
الديت يعني.
لازم تاخدي الباسبور معاكي.
يا بس بيسالونا فيهم يعني بدنا نكون حافظينهم براسنا or no؟
يعني التست بيسالونا مثلا
What type of question you said? What type of question you asking about? كلود. ايه نوع الاسئله اللي انت قصدك هتسالي فيها في الباسبور؟ هو هياخد الباسبور يبص فيه وخلاص، احسن تكوني كاسره فيزا او تكوني طلعتي طردوكي بتاع كده بس.
جاوبي بدي اسالك سؤال كمان.
السؤال هو انا يعني للايضاح ان احنا مثلا كنا كل سنه نروح على لبنان ونرجع.
ما فيش مشكله.
اللي بده يسالونا الديت انت رحنا وانت جينا، هذا هو السؤال.
طب انت you already okay. I will tell Mr. Mike and let him answer. He said about the trip out of state. There is a question here about all trips out of state. So she said the officer will ask us about this trip, the date of trip, going and back.
Okay. And what are they wondering? What they mean by that?
He said, is the officer going to ask me about all these dates? I don't think so.
Oh, no. All they're going to do is make sure that you filled out the application and that you know the information is correct. You do not have to have all of the documents with you that show your plane ticket or anything like that. You just have to, when they say, is this all correct? Did you fly to whatever country? And when did you go? And when did you come back? And they may ask you those questions to see if for sure you're the one who filled it out so that you know what it says. But as far as you having to remember all of that or document it, no, you won't have to do that.
Actually, ask me how many trips.
Okay.
And are you stay out of state more than 6 months?
Mm-hmm. Right. And those are questions you should be able to answer easily.
Yeah. And already you put all this data in your application before you apply. But for me, a different case because I made another trip after I submit the application because my sister passed away and I have to go. So I told him, yes, mention 3 trips, but actually I made another trip after I submit the application. And all this recorded in front of him. He told me the date. He said the date, not me.
And what? And they want to know if you're being honest. They want to know if you're going to be truthful with them. And so just be honest because they have more information in front of them than you realize. And they just want to make sure that you're going to be truthful about it.
Yes, you're right.
Sarah.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the application? Here's what we can do. If this is okay, you go ahead and look through the application if you are in the process of filling it out. If you need any help with it during the month of April, the rest of April, while we are not meeting, then you can send me the question by email or send it to Madam Viola, and then we can answer your question. And if it's something we need to answer speaking in person, we can do that by Zoom. Or if it's something that we can just answer by typing an answer, we'll do that. So if you're filling it out and you run into a place where you just don't understand it, we want to help you. And just let us know what that place is, and we'll see if we can help. Does that make sense?
بيقول لكم باعتبار ان احنا شهر ابريل مش هيبقى فيه اي مقابلات، لو حد عايز يسأل اي سؤال هو هيسيب الايميل بتاعه او على الواتساب جروب ممكن تكتبوا الاسئله دي وهو هيجاوب لكم عليها. لو حد هيملى الابلكيشن في خلال الفتره دي او عايز يسأل في اي سؤال في الابلكيشن ابعتوا له على الايميل او ابعتوا لي انا وانا ابعت له زي ما تحبوا يعني.
هلا شهر كامل ما في صفوف،
ما في كلاس يعني.
ما في كلاس شهر كامل غير شهر رمضان.
ما احنا لا هي مش عشان رمضان، احنا دايما بين مجموعه ومجموعه بنفصل حوالي شهر يعني هو كده.
اوكي. اوكي.
Okay. Well, it is just about 9 o'clock, and I know all of you have had a very long day. If there's no other questions, then we will end this. Or we can listen to music.
Only I have a point. I want to advise all of you.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Let's mute. You have to take the last year filing tax with you. There's a question here about are you filing annual filing tax? And you said yes. Most of us ask another question. You have a paper for this? So it's not included in the letter, but you have to take it. يعني هي مش مكتوبة في الجواب اللي هيجي لك الاختار ان انت تروحي تعملي التست، مكتوبة الدوكيومنت اللي انت لازم تاخديها معاكي، بس مش مكتوب فيها حكاية التست. لكن الحقيقة كل اللي دخلوا سألوهم، يعني أنا قلت لشذا وبرضه شذا اتسألت وكان معاها الورق فورته لي. أنا ابني بصراحة اللي قال لي على الكتاب ده خدته معايا، سألني
عن التاكس. عن التاكس.
the last year filing tax. report بتاع الفايل. So I advise all of you to take it with you.
Yes, that's thank you for remembering that. Yes.
I have another question, Pastor.
Yes.
Maybe the officer asked me why you want to go every year to your country.
So I'm getting background noise. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Maybe the officer, he asked me why you want to go every year to your country.
If he asked you if you're going every year on a trip, yeah, he may ask you how long you are staying. It is okay for you to travel, but they want to know, is it business that you have? Is there something else? They will want to know a reason behind it, but that doesn't mean you can't travel. It just means that, like Viola had to go for her sister's funeral. That's a very reasonable reason. So if you say for business, they will understand that.
No, I want to go to see my family,
visit my family.
my children,
visit my family.
Yes.
Visit.
And that's okay. That's okay. They just want to know the reason for the visit. And I understand your concern, but you need not worry about that. That is not a worry. You just tell them my family is there and I go to visit family, and you stay for whatever period of time. You just, when you put all the time together, it can't be over the limit. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Certainly.
I have another question, please.
Yes.
If I move to another city, or can I? How long I stay before I make a appointment or make application?
If I remember.
بالعربي.
لو أنا رحت مثلا، أنا قاعد دلوقتي مثلا في الهابرة ورحت ساكرامنتو مثلا.
اوكي.
اعرف بعد ما اقدم الابلكيشن هنا ممكن اعمل انترفيو هناك في ساكرامنتو؟
طبعا، بس انت قبل ما تقدم يعني انت هتنقل قبل ما تقدم الابلكيشن؟
لا، انا هعمل الابلكيشن هنا واروح هناك
لا لازم تعمل تشينج ادرس.
اعمل تشينج ادرس فين بقى يا اخت فيولا؟
هنا تبعت لهم، هو في عندهم هم لينك كده لذيذ غير اللي عندهم. Question if I made the application because they live now in La Habra. They're going to move to Sacramento.
There are two problems with moving. One, and Viola can tell you this for sure, you will miss documents if they send them to you, or you will miss things in the mail because they will not get to you in a very speedy way. So it could be very difficult if you're moving. That's why they say you should stay in the same area for at least 6 months where you're in this process. But if you have to move, and that's fine, if you have to move, you have to understand that their forwarding mail may not get to your new address. And so you could have an appointment for an interview and not even know it because they sent it to your old address. Now, if you have family who lives in the old address, then you probably won't have a problem with that. The other thing is that you have to stay in the same district, the same state when you apply for a certain period of time. And so as long as you qualify for that, you won't have a problem. Does that make sense?
Is the same Sacramento is the same state, California.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. Yes, it's the same state. And you do need to stay in the same state when you apply until the process is finished. And you are. That's fine.
Yeah. So can I move at first and stay there about 3 months and make application in 400 there?
No, actually, you need to stay 3 months. You can, because you're still in the same state. It's just moving cities.
It's the same state, yeah.
So no problem.
Yeah, no problem doing that. The only thing I'm cautioning you about is if you don't have someone to accept mail at both addresses, the new one, the old one, then you may miss something that they try to send you. And so you just have to make sure that your mail is going to get to you and not wait for the post office to forward it to you, because that could take too long and you miss an appointment.
Okay.
So you just have to make sure that you are available, accessible, they can reach you. Because Viola had what was it, a green card, Viola, that got lost on?
I lost my green card because we moved and changed address in the post office. They send us the approval and there is a sticker about a new address. But for green card, they send it to the old house, old address.
And so if they want to let you know you have an appointment on a certain date by a letter, if you miss that letter, it would be very sad for you to miss your appointment. So wherever you move, make sure that you have the ability to get your mail.
That's why I'm advising him to move and applied.
Yeah.
Before he not applied yet.
Yeah, move first.
He moved and put the new address in the application. Everything is to the new application.
Yes.
Before moving.
No, apply after you move so that you're at the address you will stay at least for 6 months. That way, when they send you information, you won't miss it. That's what Viola is advising, for you to apply after you move.
قولنا بالعربي يا اختي. انقلوا الاول يا مدام ناديه، انقلوا الاول وبعد كده اعملوا الابلكيشن عشان الادرس الجديد هيتحط في الابلكيشن.
ايوه صح كده
بس
شكرا.
لا تقعد 3 شهور عشان تعمل الابلكيشن، لا لانك انت جوه الولايه، انت ما نقلتش حته بعيده. كاليفورنيا فما فيش مشكله.
طيب فيولا
يعني نروح نقدم على لو رحنا نقدم على
فيولا
على طول. ما فيش مشكله.
Yeah, Hannah has a question too, Viola.
يعني مش محتاجين نقعد 3 شهور كمان.
لا جرين كارد فيولا. ابني انا ضاع منه الجرين كارد وهو عمل ورق جديد بس ما وصلوش حاجه عن الجرين كارد خالص، خد موافقه وكل حاجه.
to make replacement.
هو عمله اوريدي، بس المفروض ان احنا نقدم على الجنسيه على الاوراق الايام دي. هل هو يقدر يعمل كده من غير الجرين كارد؟ لا
She asking about her son.
Okay.
Her son lost the green card and he applied for replacement.
Yeah, عشان هو waiting
He
بقى.
did not send it yet. It takes about 1 year. يعني it takes
Yeah.
took from with us about 1 year.
بس انتي ما قدرتيش تدخلي ولا تعملي حاجة غير لما تستلمي الجرين؟
لا انا الكلام ده كان قديم.
اه
4 سنين.
طب هل حد مر بحاجة زي كده؟ يعني لو حد ضاع منه الجرين يقدر يخش؟ هو خد موافقة وكل حاجة بس مستني يستلم الجديد.
ما فيك يمكن على ما اظن انه ما فيها تقدم اذا ما استلمت الجرين.
لا بيختموا لك الباسبور. روحي اليو اس سي اي اس ختموا لنا الباسبور وجيه سافر وراح وجيب الختم ده وخلاص على كده.
لا هي
انا ابني ختموا له الباسبور. انا ابني ختمين له الباسبور بفيولا.
ختمين له الباسبور
يا ختم له الباسبور، ختم له على الباسبور ان هو
طب
يقدر
خلاص
يسافر.
ده هو قال لي ده الجرين كارت يعتبر بتاعكم.
يعني يقدر يقدم، ده انا ابني بس يقدر يقدم هو من غيره، من غير ما يستلمه في ايده.
مش مشكلة. لا مش مشكلة.
طيب
Her
اوكي.
question is her son already lost the green card and apply for replacement. They stamp his passport that he has a green card, as they did with us. So is he now
can apply
allowable to apply for citizenship or no? I told her, of course, yes. Why not?
Yeah, you should be able to apply because your passport says it, but they when you go to the interview may want to see the green card.
Yeah.
So but if you have time, if you're just applying now, then you will probably get a replacement green card in time.
Yeah, maybe he can't receive before the interview.
Say again.
Maybe he can't receive any green card until the interview.
Oh yes, yeah, he will probably get it before.
Yeah, but he can use the passport or no with him?
Oh, he can use it, but for his interview, it would be best for him to have the green card. But if he hasn't applied yet, or even if he has applied, if he doesn't have an interview date, he probably will get his green card in time.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mike.
Oh, certainly.
فيولا سؤال إلي. أنا هلا قدمت الابليكيشن وحطيت عنوان هذا البيت. أنا بدي انتقل يعني مثلا على سان دييغو. كويس. سان دييغو نفس العاصمة تبعت كاليفورنيا يعني ساكرامنتو.
انتوا تعتبروا تبع كاليفورنيا مش
يعني ما بيفرق شيء، بس بيفرق المحافظ وهدول الأسئلة مو هيك، والسيناتور تبع
السيناتور هو بتاع كل كاليفورنيا.
اوكي شو بيضل كان بيفرق بس المحافظ؟
لا الهاوس اوف ريبريزنتيف، لكن المحافظ بتاع كاليفورنيا هو
يعني ما بيفرق علينا بالأسئلة شيء، بس انه بس بنغير العنوان ونفس الأسئلة. السيناتور مثلا اسم السيناتور مثل نحن لما بنقول ديان.
ايوه السيناتور 2 لكل كاليفورنيا يا عفاف.
لكل كاليفورنيا.
واحد لكل كاليفورنيا. اللي هيتغير الهاوس اوف ريبريزنتيف.
تبع الهاوس تبع يعني المحافظ تبع المدينة تبع أناهاي بصير غيرها.
الممثل زي عضو مجلس الشعب عندنا احنا.
ايه هذا بيتغير؟
طبعا ده على الزيب كود اللي انت هتسكني فيه.
اوكي بس هيك
يعني. is if she moved is the governor will change, the name of the governor will change, the name of senator will change. I told her no, governor and senator for all California is the same.
Oh yes, yeah.
Only a house of representative.
That's every 2 years, yes.
Yes, depend on the zone, area, zip code area.
Yes, and Viola, Basmina had asked for Nurstani had asked for the reading and the writing part in the papers that I was showing, and I know they're part of what you have. If you could send those to her too, that would be wonderful.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Then no classes in April. All April.
Yeah, this is the last class, and we will begin again after Ramadan because it's very difficult for many to make it during Ramadan, and it makes it very late for many who have children. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will do it again, and you are welcome to join many times if you need to. That's not a problem. And
Thank
then,
you so much.
oh, you are very welcome, Hannah. And we
Thank
will get to you the recordings for each of the classes if you don't have them.
Okay.
Thank you, Pastor Mike.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
very welcome.
Master Mike.
And
It is
good
my
night.
pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Mike.
Do you have any
Yes.
simple test, simple of reading or writing test?
You want to see the part of that? Is that what you said?
Yeah, simple and for
Oh, a sample of the writing and reading?
yes.
Oh, sure. I can send you questions that will be the kind of questions that they will, or statements they will have you read and write. Yes, I can send those to you.
Or is there any online we can search 100 question or question answer like DMV? We can search in Google and we have all question about.
Yes, all of the questions are online at USCIS, and you can look up citizenship,
Okay.
and you will find them online. I don't think they have practice tests like they do with DMV, but they have the questions.
Okay.
Unless, Viola, do you know of a practice test for citizenship?
Yes, there is an if you say in YouTube interview, you will see the whole interview from the beginning. till
Okay,
the
all right, very good.
interview. You can write interview on.
Okay.
Citizenship interview.
I have another question.
Uh-huh.
When we can submit our application the last day, or when we can begin to submit the application, and when we can get the result after the test? I have two questions.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Viola.
No, it's okay.
You have to be a resident for 6 years when you take the interview, but you can apply before that.
Yes.
I think it is 5 years and 9 months. Is that right, Viola?
4 years and 9 months.
Oh.
4 years and 9 months. I had it wrong. Yeah, 4 years and 9 months. And there won't be a problem. The process takes so long anyway that by the time they get it and go through the process with you, you won't have any trouble at all. And then 5 years is when you have to be resident, right? For 5 years?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
on June it will be 5 years.
Oh, you can apply now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can apply now and fill out the application. And if you need any help, just let me know.
So when they almost when they call us for the test, after how long?
How long till you got a response after your application, Viola?
Some people, for me, about 1 year.
Okay.
1 year.
Yeah, I applied in November. I made the test in December 3rd.
Long
They
time.
sent me before
Yeah.
1 month.
For some people, it's only 6 months, the whole process.
Yeah. Now they started to reduce the time. Like Hanan after 6 months, Phoebe and Shukri 6 months.
Wow.
I think Jomana also.
Yeah. So it could be very fast, Farzana.
Yeah, because COVID delay us before.
Yeah.
After
Now
after COVID.
there is no COVID problem.
No COVID problem now.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Farzana, you ask about the result. You got the result in the same time.
Yeah, when you interview,
Yes.
right then.
Oh, that's good.
Give you paper, go to upstairs, take your certificate and flag and make the oath, and that's it.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
It's all done in one day, which is very fast. It's very good for you that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
فيولا بس أنا بدي أسأل سؤال. كنتوا عم بتقولوا إنه فينا نفوت على اليوتيوب ونحضر الريفيوز كلهم، نحضر الانترفيوز.
Interview, US citizenship interview. You will find.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Okay.
Bye-bye,
Good
everyone.
night. Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.